And Esther, can you also? Welcome everyone to our event this afternoon. My name is Michael Berry. I am director of the Center for Chinese Studies, and I'm particularly honored and excited to host this event today with a very special guest, Mr. Tehching Hsieh or Sam Hsieh, one of the great contemporary artists of our time. Thank you to the Taiwan Academy for their sponsorship, to Esther Zhou, Assistant Director of the Center for Chinese Studies, all of our sponsors. Also thanks to Zheng Lianjie, an old friend who helped make some connections behind the scenes, and of course to our featured guest who I will introduce in just a moment. It's really a dream come true to have Mr. Hsieh here with us today for this event. He's perhaps more so than any other artist, his works prod us to rethink our relationship with performance art, but also think about our relationship with the body, with time, with life, with art, and the meaning of art. Arising from his work are large existential questions and quandaries, not always answers, but we're going to try to get some answers today during our discussion. But often the answers are left for the viewer to discover. I first became aware of Tehching Hsieh's work about 23 years ago. And if you'll indulge me for a moment, I'd like to tell a short story by way of introduction. Another contemporary performance artist, Zheng Lianjie, who lives in New York, had an exhibition in Chinatown. And he's been doing ink works, also performance art. And his performance works, usually it's maybe an afternoon, it's a few hours. They're documented with photography and often exhibited in museums. And he had an exhibition in Chinatown. This is the late 90s, probably around 1999. And after this exhibition, a bunch of us went to a jazz club in the Bowery area called Tonic together. And Lianjie told me, I've got a friend who drives and he'll take us there. And we all got in this, I think it was a pickup truck or a station wagon, maybe a station wagon. And there was a man who I'd never met driving. He had a baseball hat on, very kind of nondescript, a bit short. And we were just making small talk in Chinese on the way there. And I asked him what he does for a living. And he said, well, similar to Lianjie, I'm also an artist. And I said, oh, what kind of art? He said, well, I also do performance art, but a little bit different. I do it for a year. I do it 1 year performance art pieces. And I paused and it took me a moment to wrap my head around that. What does that even mean to do a work of art for 1 year? And I asked him and he started to tell me about his body of work. And I had never heard of anything quite like it. And that kind of set me on a journey. And I started to investigate the incredible body of work of Hsieh Tehching. And I think a few years after that, I got my hands on a CD-ROM of his performances, which had incredible documentation of all of his work. And it kind of pulled me in. And for the next 20 years, I've been teaching his work in my courses. And he's one of the artists that's truly prods me to really rethink so many of the questions that we assume so true and to really raise a lot of questions. A bit more about Mr. Hsieh's background. He was born in 1950. He actually dropped out of high school in 1967. He took up painting before joining the military in Taiwan for 3 years. He did some both painting works and early performance works in Taiwan, such as a performance action piece called Jump, where he jumped out of a second-story window and actually broke both of his ankles. Eventually, he transitioned to become a sailor and worked as a seaman for a couple of years. And that's how he made it to the United States, arriving in 1974. He arrived in Philadelphia, made his way to New York, and as he was kind of working odd jobs in restaurants in New York, he started to explore some truly incredible and groundbreaking works in the world of performance art. There were some shorter works, such as one in which he buried himself in manure for a period of time, completely submerged. But eventually he started to migrate to a new palette, which was 1 year works of performance art. And I don't know of anyone who has done works of this duration and melding art and life simultaneously in such a powerful way that raises so many interesting questions. Over the years, his work has become internationally acclaimed. There have been major retrospectives about his work held at MoMA, the Tate Modern in London, the Guggenheim Museum, and those are just a handful of the museums that have exhibited his work. He's also been the subject of several books. This is one in Chinese called Do It for a Year, The Performance Art of Tehching Hsieh. This is another one which I highly recommend, the life works, out of now, the life works of Tehching Hsieh. This is available from MIT Press. And so today, the format of our event, we will begin with Mr. Hsieh giving a short talk, and then we will engage in a dialogue, a one-on-one conversation, and then we will open it up to you for your questions. And before I bring him on, I'm going to quote one of his contemporaries, another performance art master, Marina Abramovic, who has written, quote, Tehching has said, I am not like many contemporary artists who are intensely attached to the present, but at the same time, I think his work aspires to be timeless. He also said that what determines his work is a strong will. For me, strong will is also important, but what he achieved in 5 year-long performances is more than any other performance artist ever managed to do. If I talk about performance art, I start with him. He has become a legend. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn our Zoom stage over to the legend, Mr. Hsieh Tehching. Hsieh Laoshi, please.
Thank you so much, Director Michael Berry. Invite me for UCLA, the Center of Chinese Study, to in the room talking. So it's my honor. And first, I will introduce my work first, and then after, I will have a conversation with Michael. Okay. Okay, the first piece 1 year performed, September 30, 1978, statement. I Sensei plan to do a 1 year performance to begin on September 30, 1978. I shall see myself in my studio in solitary confinement inside a cell room, measurement 11 feet 6 inches by 9 feet by 8 feet. I shall not converse, read, write, listen to the radio, or watch television until I unseal myself on September 29, 1979. I shall have food every day. My friend Cheng Wei Guang will translate this piece by taking charge of my food, clothes, and refuse. Okay, so this is 111 Hudson Street. That's in Tribeca, my studio. So also I make it 1 year the calendar, and the 1 year calendar, and I have the circle. This is only have 19 opening, and so in most 300 some more day is become just myself isolation in the piece. And also I have a lawyer, Mr. Robert Podesky. He become witness the piece in the first day and last day. To see the door, the cage, the doors beginning, was sealed, and then the last day he will come and to check out, no broken. So and then he proved, for honesty to do the piece. And also I document, I shove my head both, and then every day the Chen, he give me food every day, and also he take the picture with tripod set up there. So every day I have one, I stay in the one place and I mark on floor the foot mark, and so I stand there and then take picture every day. So I have 365 picture, and this you can see that this is the first day, September 30, 78, and last day. So this become uniform, and I wear whole year. And you can see this image also Chen, he take the, some live image in the piece. And you can see, I take a 3 months later, I will find, I want to continue to stay in this kind of small, the space. I have to be, to feel comfortable, I can continue. So I find, I make my space become this corner I sit, become home. So I can go out another 3 corners, take a walk, and then come home. And then make a space, I feel comfortable, bigger. That's why I, for survival for whole year. And also I scratch mark every day on the sheetrock wall. So that's the, this is the last day of the image. Okay, second piece, 1 year perform. Okay. First I want to say, you see, I use Sam because of my background is illegal immigrant. So I try hiding my name. I use the, English name, Sam. So that time I do that. So, okay, April 1980 STEM, Sam said, plan to do a 1 year performance piece. I sure punch a time clock in my studio every hour on the hour for 1 year. I sure immediately dip my time clock wrong each time after I punch the time clock. The performance should begin on April 11, 1980 at 7 p.m. and continue until April 11, 1981 at 6 p.m. So this is the same studio. You can see this calendar, the year calendar, this image, you can see that's the original sketch here. So I all take out and then I install the, this second 1 year perform. And I have 13, almost each month I have one opening, but include first day and last day, so all have 13 open to public. And you can see the uniform, it's like, people, if they have a company, they use the mark, my name and first day and last day, my last name. So this time clock, and also this is, the airport for photography, I have take a camera to 16 movie camera hanging in the ceiling. Every hour, I will shot 1 frame. And so 24 hours a day, so shot 24 frames. And all together, 8,760 frames, all 16 frames. That's, I document this piece by myself. Also, I have witness. Also, my hair, I shampoo and to give natural growth. And you can see this image is about 24 hours, I punch time clock. So if I sleep, I will use the amplify, like this is a watch. And then I use the microphone and then high speed to make it louder, stronger, so I can wake up by alarm. This is another room, so I can walk to time clock room every day, yeah. And this is a time card. And you can see the witness. You see, Mr. David Manning, that's the, science 366 day for first day, and then he had to check out, the last day to see all is true, not cheating. So I signed, and then so all 366 in first day all signed, and then every day I use 1 card, 24 hours. So this is this is a 254 day. You can see I have a missing sleeping, miss punch. So 11, a.m. and some I missed like 12:53. So it's it's like it's late. Yeah, it's early. Oh, I think it's late. Then I wake up. Yeah, that's. And this about I told the missing punch is 133 times in 8,760 times. So it's 1.52%. I missed. And sleep, I missed 94. And later, I missed 29. And early, 10. Most early is like 59. You know, I don't open my eyes. So that's why I punched too early. That's why I make that. So total is 133 times. And here you see this.
I don't have an answer for that. Is there?
Okay, this is the first day, and this is the last day. So all frame. This is each frame. So that's the whole year. Okay, this is the first piece. 1 year performance. Okay, I already changed my name in the piece back to my real name, Tehching Hsieh. But actually, I still illegal to live in America. But at least I'm not afraid anymore, so I use my real name. Okay, the piece statement. September 26, 1981. Statement. I, Tehching Hsieh, plan to do a 1 year performance piece. I shall stay outdoor for 1 year, never go inside. I shall not go into a building, subway, train, car, airplane, ship, cave, tent. I shall have a sleeping bag. The performance shall begin on September 26, 1981 at 2 p.m. and continue until September 26, 1982 at 2 p.m. So this piece I don't do in studio, I become in a city. But the concept is just outdoor, doesn't matter have to be in the city, but I prefer to do in the piece in the site I use in New York City. And you can see the calendar, I have a 5 opening. You know, first day, and then after become each season, fall, winter, spring, summer. So this is, you know, in the summer, the opening. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is the last day in doorway, is in the building, you know, in my building where I live in Tribeca. So that's the calendar a year. Also, I have 366 daily map to say how far to go. Most time I stay in downtown Manhattan below 14th Street because in the 80s, in that time, you know, downtown is much comfortable for artists or for homeless. And to me, you know, they have a more like abandoned buildings, so each easy to hide in the uptown, midtown is more like you know, more completely finished. You know, compared now, like almost whole Manhattan become, you know, very difficult for the homeless people to stay. You know, they have to go somewhere, Brooklyn or somewhere, you know, Bronx or something. So you can see, okay, the temperature, I write down temperature also, how much money I spend for food. Normal is like, yeah, about $8 around, you know, that can spend a day. And here I write how big circle I work in the area and where I go to sleep or where I go bathroom or where I eat lunch or dinner. So that's the, you know, the each day the daily map. Also, I use tripod to take picture by myself. And this piece I have a film, you know, not much longer. It's about half hour. I have filmmaker to shot this film, but only I call him, then he come. But not many time we do that. So I don't want a piece document too much to bother my perform. So I use tripod. I don't wanna, you know, I do by myself. But only few picture is somebody take it. Most pictures I use tripod to do by myself. You see, this that time World Trade Center still, you know, existent, and this is on Battery Park area. This is actually in the parking lot area. And also this year is the most coldest year in the century in New York. So I have a 6 minutes short film to show everybody. Yeah. I'm sorry, I think this one too long. Sorry, this one is half hour. I'm sorry, I thought this one I pick up a long whole film, half hour, so we don't have so much long to stay here, but I will just make some short. Sorry, I think, I'm sorry, this one too long. I don't try to show that. Okay, we go to next, the low piece, okay. Okay, July 4, 1983 statement. We, Linda, Montana, and Tehching Hsieh plan to do a one-year performance. We will stay together for 1 year and never be alone. We will be in the same room at the same time. When we are inside, we will be tied together at the waist with the F3 rope. We will never touch each other during the year. The performance will begin on July 4, 1983 at 6 p.m. and continue until July 4, 1984 at 6 p.m. And Linda Montana signed and I signed. And that's used the same studio in Tribeca, 101 Hudson. So we have a 4 opening for this piece. But art life, this is Linda Montana, the title. 1 year performance is my title, so we collaboration. So we put this together. And this is the first day. First day we tie off. Also, we both cut hair, short hair bow, and then give natural 1 year growth. And also we take a document by recording our conversation. So depend, this one tape is 90 minutes. So depend how many, minutes we talk. And so we have to be turn on the tape. And also we don't give listen. So we see, after that day, we will see the tape. And this is August 10. And you see, so we take a picture, 367, the document for each day have one picture. So this day is, you see, Linda, she like to do meditation, but I'm not interested in do meditation, so I have to waiting for her. So this is the one image. And also we both try to make peace more like a normal real life, and so we involved with job, so like I do construction job, and then I go with me, but we only share one person pay, and then we share half. And also Linda teach in, touch in in art school, university. So then we go in Philadelphia, take a very early morning, and we take train, go there, and also, we share half for that. And this is you see the January 10, 1983. You see that this is the first time we meet Marina and Ule in New York, So this is the first time we meet together. And this is the last day we take out the rope, so become individual person. Okay, next piece, 1 year performance piece, July 1st, 1983. I, Tehching Hsieh, plan to do a 1 year performance. I not do art, no talk art, no see art, and no read art, no go to art gallery and art museum for 1 year. I just go in life. The performance begin on July 1st, 1985, and continue until July 1st, 1986. So I just write New York City. So this is the year calendar. Just no art doing life for a year, so I just practice. So only this piece, the document, that's statement poster, that's all. And this is the last project. Last project. December 31st, 1986. Statement. I, Tehching Hsieh, have a 30-year plan. I will make art during this time. I should not show it public. This plan will begin on my 36th birthday, December 31st, 1986. Continue until my 49th birthday, December 31st, 1999. And my name. So Earth is just, I go anywhere, so I don't, I don't set up the, where, so, in the plan. Yeah, that's it. So, 13 years, so have this all together come 13 years. And this the last day, in January 1st, 2000, I do public report. And then I say I keep myself alive. I passed the December 31st, 1999, and I signed. That's all I do. Yeah. Also, I try to do some more, explanation about what my concept. Okay, lifetime and art time. I was a illegal immigrant in the in the state of for 14 years, and most of my 1 year performance was done during this time. We could use the Panama Canal as an example. When a ship comes from a lower to a higher water level, or the other way around, the ship can pass through only when the two different water level meet. The water level for my art and life needed to be the same, so I can sail into art from life and transfer lifetime to art time. And since 2000, I don't do art anymore. I just what should be said. Life is changed. Okay, during time, my performance work show different perspective of thinking about life. Meanwhile, this perspective are all basically on the same preconception. Life is life sentence. Life is passing time. Life is free thinking. Okay, thank you. Okay, Michael, we can talk.
Thank you, Xie Lao Shi. I
Thank
think
you so
everyone
much.
in the audience I know is giving you a virtual round of applause.
Mm.
And so I have prepared a series of questions.
Yeah.
We'll speak partially in English, and if we move to Chinese, I will interpret for everybody. And we're going to try to contextualize some of the incredible works and the monumentality of these works that Mr. Hsieh has done throughout his career. And I thought we'd start in the beginning with your childhood. I know you came from a large family, I believe one of 15 children. And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about your parents, your siblings. Did anybody give you a particularly strong impact and influence in terms of your later pursuit of art?
Yeah, I just show some picture. This is my family, but actually, this picture, everybody can see that, right?
No, you need to
No.
share screen again to show the pictures.
Okay, sorry. Let me see. Okay, how to do that? Let me see. Just a second. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, can you see that?
Yes.
Oh, no, yeah, just a second. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, this is this is me. Yeah, in 1958. So I'm 7, 8 years old. My father, my mother, and this mostly is my brother or my sister-in-law. So this is my young brother. This is the youngest one. This is the oldest brother. So we still have a family, sister not in here, so I cannot show much. But of course, we are in big family, only 2 generations, and my father, have 15 children. Of course, we have a different mother and but it's not in the same time. They divorced and marry again. So my mother is the last person, but my father born in the 1895, so it's very old, almost a Qing dynasty that time. Yeah, but my mother just only passed 6 years ago. She is 98 years old. She passed away. But of course, we family is very unusual. We all together, it's quite we stay well. We all quite good together. In my father, the kind of power, so everybody that. But I would say to me, my mother is most important. Influenced me. If I say, in my work, influence from who, I will mention my mother. Is one of that. So I was because my mother is Christian. She is a very serious Christian, but my father is not believe God. So she married after not go to church. But we childhood go to church. But at least I'm my mom is very exposure. Us. Give a lot of love. Also very respect in all family. My mother is very that kind of dedicated person. And also I influenced from my mother because, this is when she's young, you can see this is more like a Christian kind of icon, kind of personality. And so she believed, God, and so she always taught to me, say I have to be, like this, this image you can see. I visit Taiwan, my mother, I used this Michelangelo pen here. Excuse me. Because my mother finger point to me, say you have to believe God. If you want to do your kind of work, you have to be, have God support. And that way you cannot make this kind of work. But you can see me, this kind of angle lay down, also Adam, to with God, the kind of conversation you can see have a kind of similar look like Michael, I need to transfer a little bit. 就是说怀疑主义 question, how you say that, Michael?
Yeah, just have some reservations or some doubts that you
Yeah,
have.
yeah, like I lay down to listen what my mother say, all the are done, are done the, listen what God to say. So it's more like this kind of angle in my life with my mother relationship is more like I more adapt, but my mother's more believe. But at least I am influenced from her is a sacrifice or the dedicate, that, and also her life is a strong will, do things. So, what I mean. So this part I naturally influence from her. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if those kind of, even if you aren't consider yourself a believer, if those early Christian notions of sacrifice, suffering, atonement kind of
yeah.
somehow consciously or unconsciously impacted your later work.
But because you see, I don't try to go religion side because art already, like art is present time, and I do, and I give question, what lifetime and being, and that's enough for me to have enough for my life, because life is short. We are unlimited. Means the life is short, but the time is unlimited. So it's not enough for me to handle. For just contemporary art is already a big question for me to handle. But of course, childhood is very important. My family, like I say, if people say, "Oh, if Taiwan influenced you," I only mention my mother. I don't mention about, some other, political or some other way. Of course, I influenced from literature. That kind is when I was, 18, 19, that time. So that's in Taiwan, but
Right.
it's not had to do with the Taiwan. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because you came of age, you were born in 1950, so you came of age in the, you're a teenager in the mid 60s, and then and that period from the mid 60s into the 70s was a really vibrant, interesting time in Taiwan. You have the 现代文学, right? The modernist literature, the 乡土派, the nativist literature. You have, Hu Jintren, King Hu's martial arts films. You have European art cinema, American rock and roll, Chong Yao's fiction. All of these different influences are at play. And I'm wondering, when you were in high school and a young man, what were you reading? What films were you watching? Were you going to museums? What were the big influences upon you?
Because I grew in a small town in the South Taiwan. So that time, they don't have museum in there. In 60, most of my life in the 60 is in high school, in a school. In Taiwan, 升学主义怎么讲？升学主义
To get promoted, to apply for next
education
school.
very strong. And to me, I'm not good for school, and I have a bad memory for school. It's very, So I don't finish high school, but I interested in literature, right? So like I said, Franz Kafka, or the existentialism, or the Dostoevsky, Russia, this kind of, good thinker, that affect my life in practice. I'm practice in life, and after that, and then transfer to life to be art. That's the way I'm not directly say, okay, their work become influenced by directly. I don't do that. I'm more like what life mean to me. I answer myself question. Of course, they influence me, so they give me some question, some answer, but I need to practice. So I feel I quit high school, and I want to be to be focused in art. So that I start for that, and take a long, I start up from painting, and then I do action, because I do a lot of painting from begin. When I travel, I really like painting, but after not finish high school, I become total creative for painting, and of course my painting become more like abstract, 表现 abstract, abstract, kind of painting. But later I find out myself after I come to New York, I find to see this whole 5 years I do painting, I feel I more like become action. The way I do become, to not contemplate art, like Jackson Pollock, do action painting. But I already have experiment in Taiwan, because in that time I don't go in high school, and some friend they in the college, they told me, say, in Western they have a new kind of art called happening or conceptual art. I only know the word because in Taiwan it's very conservative in the 70s, you know what I mean? So I cannot have any information. I only know the word they call, but I become get Super 8 camera beginning, and then I jump. The piece is, just have camera, and I don't want to do painting anymore. So then what I can do, then I first action is I jump, because I say goodbye with my painting, and then I still do free piece. When you see my painting in the end, you can see, like I do the paint, one piece called paint red repetition for 30 pages, the 18 by 22, the schedule book, 30 pages, right? I paint a red repetition. So I open, the one page and paint a red circle, continue. So you can see, each time you paint is different, but also it's a repetition. So I do that, and also I do different piece, with the exposure, like a big dark Kodak paper, in a 100 page in the sunshine, and I exposure, I lay out and then give the sun to exposure, and then after that I opposite Chinese side, so you can see the process. So that, and then jump piece, that's all my early work in Taiwan, so I have that kind of, when you see my, of course that is the maybe not mature. My work is 1 year per month become my total completely, I feel is 成熟的作品.
Those are my more mature works.
Yeah. So, but at that time, at least I don't know what art to be, because the way I develop myself for art, I more ask myself question. And then in life, of course, life have many different kind of people experience differently. Right? To me, I'm more interested in, like I say, my character. I feel my character, you want to say in life what you want to do. I would say I would choose to be artist. Artist, my character fit in very naturally, and I feel I enjoy, to live and to do art. It's not like art had to be art world called art. To me, like I said, I quit high school and I jumped ship and I come here, I do. So that is not about art, but at least I prepare. Doesn't matter it's art time or a lifetime. The way my action, the way I do things, it cannot separate. You know what I mean? But some part I call art is because we can communication. You know what I mean? I don't want to say everything is art. I'm not interested in for bring everything, do things is art. I'm not that, yeah. So.
You mentioned your early performance piece, Jump, where you jumped off the second story in Taiwan. You broke your ankles. That was a kind of a really interesting transition piece, because before that you were doing painting, and this was, I believe, one of the first performance pieces where you're using your body as the canvas for your work. Can you talk more about that key transition from feeling dissatisfied with traditional kind of painting or other traditional arts, and what led you to turn to your own body as the canvas?
But Michael, you see, because I don't much to say, to show about my early work, you know what I mean? But I'm no person, like I say, I already introduced my work before I used the Panama Canal, right?
Yeah.
Lifetime, uptime had to be all the same level. If you're in the same level, I cannot jump. So I told you, I don't jump that far. I have to be step by step, but the way I can do that because I already developed that kind of work, already have that. But the way, because I'm young and I experiment, I'm strong, right? I don't have to worry about, this somebody already did this work or not. To me, I just, follow what my instinct, what I believe, what way I should try to do best I can do. So I don't, because to me, I'm not like say, what's called your student or your master. After you see my early work, you can see all I do is look at already confident for by myself. You know what I mean? To do even that time work maybe not so important, but for me it's important. Yeah. So each step, you know what I mean? I already say I do the pen repetition, pen rate repetition, or the exposure, or the low repair. I don't explain what I do, but you can see all, like I say, let me just bring one thing, just a second. You see, this is a pen report repair. You see, first time I take a photograph, but because I pen is abstract pen, you can see similar like just plug like can, but I don't do it. It's a worker in the street. They do that, and then I take picture. First time I take picture. And you can see it's the same like my artwork, that kind of, So I can, I do things it's more like it's important for my person. When and then I continue. For example, like my 1 year perform first piece, right? That's 44 years ago. 1978, 79. Oh no, 78, 79. I did the first 1 year perform. You told me until now, right? The concept I still no feel I needed to change it. You see, the time comes until now, I still had to use that. And you can see it. For example, I live in the cage for 1 year, right? I say I don't read, no talk, no writing. You see, that's, to me, the way I understand it is like a concept is technique. Make a piece more clear. I don't try to make piece more difficult. I try to make piece more clear. If I say I live in cage for 1 year, just say that for the whole piece, people will say, oh, you can live there and to watch TV or do something, and then you make piece become more clear, unclear, right? So if I take out everything, even I don't writing is very important for one person, you know what I mean? So the whole piece become thinking. You see my work, why I say life is life sentence, life is passing time, life is free thinking. Because my work is strong, invisible. You cannot see what I'm thinking. That's why I like audience to use their own life experience to imagine and thinking by their own. It's not like I answer your question. The art is good for give people have a distance, have a assessment and philosopher by their own. You don't need it to be, like I say, for example, if same idea, if some different performers are do this same idea, I think everybody will explain different.
Yeah.
It's like one can, like a 容器.
A container.
yeah, like a can, the container, and everybody passing time fit in different content, right?
Yeah.
So to me, my work is almost like empty content, empty, almost close to empty. I still have something, but I don't have much thing. It's just basically simple, and I try to make clear. That's why I like to share with people is their own life experience. Don't try to ask me why you're doing that. You try to reflection you back yourself. What life mean to you? You know what I mean? I'm not, my work is not try to answer about people life, the content. I don't interest in no life. I say, okay, time clock, you are industrial, right? You are, you know, I wear uniform, but I don't mean that that's the whole piece. You see, I do 24 hours. I live in, you know, punch time code, right? If you say that, you know, industrial work, they don't do 24 hours, right? But 24 hours means is a time recording. Life is only you die. If don't die, then you live. That's the way I'm talking about in philosophical level. I don't try to, but also you can see industrial, you know, people punch all the ancient people, sunrise and sunrise, right? And that kind of life until now, you know, people watch time, you know, what time that, right? Like say I live in the street, you know, just daytime and nighttime, and what time hungry I eat, right? You know, I mean, it's because to me, I told you, even, you know, I mean, I'm no person like to say, oh, you're Oriental, so you have the Oriental philosopher. I told you, you can say I'm more like more close to animal. I prefer that better than people to understanding my angle about Oriental or Western. Like say New York City is the civilization, the highest civilization in the plan, our plan, right? But I think artist is more like you do the opposite angle, try to see different angle to way to give people understand what that mean. So to me, I prefer, I'm more like well, 原始怎么primitive. Like I say,
Yeah,
I don't.
primitive
I like 本能 or the instinct. That's kind of a more strong person. But I like the technology too. You know what I mean? But I use that. I don't become. To me, I'm good for artist. I'm not good for science. But I use science technique to support my philosophy. I don't try to art is supposed to science. I don't, you know, that's not my thing I'm doing. You know what I mean? So to me, I feel, you know what I mean, I'm no cultural person. You know what I mean? I'm more like you can say I'm more like wild dog. That I'm more happy for people say, oh, you're maybe you are the room like an animal. You know, people watch, but because human too much thinking about human side. You know, because we thinking differently. Even sometimes, you know, like I say, I live in a cage. You think people see me in beginning when I do the piece, Taiwan critical say, oh, this is very bad for you like China, or you know, put down yourself to keep a prisoner and to show to Western very bad, very shame of me, right? But to me, you know, I mean, like you say, animal in the room, they don't care about the people watch them. Of course, sometimes bother them. But I tell you, they do things, they don't care about you watch them. You know what I mean? Only human hear singing or animal, they singing now. You know what I mean? You can see they do in the room, you see, you carefully to see the animal, they can do something, you know, I mean, in human, we do very private way to do it, but they can do in public because they don't see you are You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a human, they know if they're in a bed, in a home, like a married couple, you know, have a sex, you know, kid there. They don't care about kid because then they put them, it become, they are innocent. They don't care, you know, what human do things, you know what I mean? Same thing we can see.
Right.
But to me, I do my work. I have some part like a that way angle to see human what do. But I dare to do like Oriental thinking about 修行. I don't, because I don't interest in heighten 精神性. I'm not interested. I'm more like a animal side. I'm more interested or the primitive. So to me, I told you, I don't quite know about. People ask me question about the what's called in the 80s, in the 70s, what's new about? I say I cannot answer this question because I don't much pay attention for when I live in the 70s, 80s in New York. I don't know much because I'm more like caveman. You know what I mean? My life, in some way, I use my own way to see what thing I had to do. You know what I mean? That's where I'm more. Is it the work? My work? Why I don't do in the country, in the hiding, in the 隐士怎么讲?
As a hermit, you know, hidden
Hermit.
away.
You see, I'm more like ironing. I live in city and then I do opposite.
Yeah.
You know, alienation, all the isolation, live in city. Until now, I still my life still go that way because I have you know, I understand. I don't need to know much about what human do things, but I know I do pay attention to know what you know what we do that. But of course we do some good things. You know, I mean, also we do many bad things. You know, that's we all know. So art is what art for. You know what I mean? I don't try to political to service about my art is about COVID-19 or it's about the, you know, or Black Lives Matter. I'm not quite interested for that. But of course, the time, you know, like I say, this time, aging issue become big issue. You know what I mean? The article write about put my work in outdoor piece, you know, about I get a rest, right? You know what I mean? So they think, oh, maybe this is aging something. But to me, I pay attention for that. But I just know this issue to myself, the answer myself. It's just I have to be carefully. Don't try to bad luck to screw up with that. But another way, you know, I mean, if somebody want to build me up, and then I have to know how to escape and survival. That's all I basically to do that. I don't try to bring, because I'm aging or something. I don't quite into.
Can I jump in to ask
Sure, go ahead, Michael.
I wanted to kind of get back to some of the questions, and one of them is about, because a lot of what we've been talking about is this relationship between your art and life. And before you started your one-year performance pieces, you had been in the military for 3 years, so you had that military experience. You had been a sailor, you had that experience. Then you were an undocumented restaurant worker and doing various jobs in New York. How did those experiences in the military, at sea, working in restaurants, low-paying jobs, physical jobs where you have to use your body, I'm wondering in what ways was that translated or impacted your later works?
For me, I told you, I don't bring this in a political issue because life in the bottom line, I must be bottom line people. One of that, right? But I'm artist. Artist, you have the different point of view to think about, you know, philosophical view about what life, time, and being, and to understanding what art for. Another way, you know, I mean, art is not service for what issue is about. Art itself is already there. You know what I mean? Already what you did by nature, like a natural political. You know what I mean? So to me, of course, my work from life, I like what happened. Of course, my life, I'm sure people, the writer were interested in all because I'm illegal immigrant. Yes, my illegal immigrant give me much afraid, because I'm illegal. How can we do 24-hour watch the dishwash? Yeah, you cannot. The hand already almost gone for 1 month. You cannot do. But you see, I clean the restaurant. In beginning, and I'm, but I don't like to be a chef because they say, oh, the boss say you learn that, then someday you can be a chef. But I don't. I'm stubborn. I just do dishwash or clean the restaurant because I can be alone to thinking. So I take 4 years to find. I don't need to go looking for where to find my art can do. I already exist in time. I already wasted my 4 years in that age. You see, 4 years is very scary because in Taiwan already so expressed to do, and then come here, reality is so bad. Then 4 years in the 23 and to 28, this kind of year, the young age that you already feel you're already older, because I'm so frustrated. But then I suddenly find I don't need to looking for anywhere. I already exist in the peace. I just needed to. I waste 4 years, so I can waste 1 more year to do the peace. But how to do the aesthetic to make peace clear? That's why I said it's not about difficulty. It's about how to make idea clear. That's why I say I did catch for 1 year. No talk, no reader, no watch TV or these things make peace more clear. I just thinking the work. Why my work I want to say is free thinking because I try to say invisible my work. Some part you cannot to by usual to see it because my thinking you cannot see it. And if I want to do that, I have to be don't write. You write, then you just limit it, make a piece limited. You thinking become everybody thinking. So you share with free thinking. Because free thinking, you don't need to stop. You write word, you become locked in what, or say, oh, the time code business is about industrial, right? And then you lock in there. But after that, you find it's not just about that. It's about this, about that. So you cannot to only say one thing. You say one thing and then you miss another thing. That's why my work become paradox. You know what I mean? You want to say that, say that. That's why art have that power to give it up. The reason why I don't want to say religion, because religion make the work become going to the good. You Christian, you believe God, you don't go believe God, you go to hell. It should become that. Why? I don't try to make this. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to resign. Or Buddha say, oh, I do shoshin. You know what I mean? I become heightened. Right. So that is not my answer. You know what I mean? I'd rather to be homeless kind of person. The mind, I free thinking. Homeless people, they're free thinking too. Because free thinking is not only just good thinking, it's called free thinking. Free thinking, you can be all kind of, is include, right? So to me, I'm just part, some part, maybe animal also free thinking too, That's why is it the Michael I answer you can see I'm no person, cultural person. You see, and my answer is like I'm more like a, you know what I mean? But I don't want to be angry person. I become, like I said, the art set I already put in art completely. I don't need to say my art. You see, before I have a record, in 1982, the downtown Winnie, they want to do one prisoner. The ideal subject about prisoner, one curator in Brooklyn, in Winnie downtown, in one police department, under the basement. They want to do the prisoner, so they ask to invite my case piece. I say I don't want to be involved. You see, and then when it's Biennale in 2017, I do it in Taiwan Pavilion, right? And that is, I don't know before that, they are prisoner before. The whole 500 years ago is a prisoner, the Taiwan Pavilion. Before I try saying, oh, case piece, and with Tom Cook, maybe just 2 pieces there. But then after I find out that I don't want to be bring case piece because I don't want people to emphasize for that angle. You know, my work is, it's like a, it's kind of free thinking about your own cage, right? You can do whatever, what kind of people. It's not only prisoner. You know what I mean? That's why my work is, you can say it's a subculture or something, you know what I mean? Like a sub-artist do that kind of work, you know what I mean? That's why I become person, you know what I mean? Cannot category or what's called perform or what. You know, why 80s, they don't want to put me in that because they're confused about what I belong to. Yeah, I belong to Asian, you know what I mean? Because I don't do any words about Asian, you know, about something. But of course, I understand work must be for my child grow. This is very important. But Michael, I'll let you say something. I don't continue. Say my way.
Maybe we can start talking about some of your specific one-year projects, such as Cage, right? 1978, 79. You had a set of rules that you read earlier, like no television, no reading, no interacting. Can you talk about how you developed those rules and how you developed the concept of doing this radical project? How did it evolve? I also know that you do 1-week trials before each one.
Yeah.
And maybe also, did you do a trial for Cage and do you tweak them? Yeah.
I told you the reason, because if piece I test, like if I feel even 1 month I cannot do it, right? Then I should not say, oh, I make statement, then I want to do 1 year. I don't want that happen. You know what I mean? I have more like science test about you want to amnesty, amnesty to go to plane, right? Go to space, right? They have to test, right? Like science, to test about. So to my work is same thing. I don't want like 30% only I already feel that I cannot make it, right? You know, for example, if I punch time code, it's not every hour, 15 minutes, right? Then for 1 year, then I become hold on, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if what's exactly time distance is right and for the piece and for that, you see? So you see my work, like say catch piece, I say no talking, no writing, no, no what's the version, right? That's make. And in time piece, I do had to be punched time code up to I had to be immediately to leave time code alone. Why I do that? Because I don't want a piece become I sleep in the time code, just that way. I don't want it to be lazy work. You know what I mean? At least I don't go far another room. I can come into room. So that's give you more clear. And I use the technique to wake up. I don't hire people to when I sleep to push me. I don't have wife to do that, right? If I have wife to do my 1 year performance time, people will say, you want somebody sacrifice for that. You see, I all know that. So that time I don't have I don't have this kind of person exist, because I know people want you to say honestly, who help you, who give you money, I mean, that kind of question, right? So to me, I already know what's going on. This like a murder case. People want to know every evidence, to know what's your detail, how to make that, and then you bring your aesthetic about what you thinking about art and that. You see, that's why I already know. It's not because that time I'm young. What I mean, because I already know what human do things. What's called art.
I mean, one thing I find so fascinating about your work is the way in which it goes so far outside the box in terms of expectations, conventions of what art is, what performance art is. It opens up these new possibilities, new imaginations. I know when I teach your works, almost every time students are shocked. They just can't imagine anyone would ever take on works like the ones you've done. And I think for viewers, people like me, people like our students, your works open up all these new questions about being, about art, about time. But I'm also very conscious that as a viewer, what I'm seeing is so superficial compared to what you are experiencing, what the artist goes through. And it's just the tip of the iceberg. And I'm wondering if you would be willing to share with us a little bit about, for instance, Cage. How did that transform your perspective on life, on art, on time? Could you share some of your takeaways and how that changed you going through that 1-year performance?
You said to me, I told you why my work, people to know my work very later time, because I don't write it. Like now I'm talking, the same thing is writing. What I mean? Because I already put art in some way. I already give form, try to do clear as possible I can, and then after that I become people to find their own. What I mean? Like they say, for example, like COVID-19, this period of time, right? People want, different people want to come to ask me, because I'm the one artist they feel is fit in COVID-19, all the social distance, like low peace, isolation, like cage peace. But I say, I don't do this kind of talking. I say, you can free to write your thought, but I only introduce what I think about my work. I don't want to say, okay, now it's about COVID-19, and then what is about this. I don't try to answer that. Because I feel it's the work. Why? Because I don't write. I only say free thinking, right? So each piece, nobody will say what I, because I only say simple, like an empty can. The can, you want to fit in that, but I don't fit much, because to me, I told you, I don't have much need to ask people to respond my work. That's why I don't get people to know my work, because I don't do much after these things. So to me, like tape recording, you see, inside, people want to know what inside I'm talking about. This is like black tape in the airplane accident. Then after you open what's going on, maybe that time you open it. Or the Pandora box. But you understand human Pandora box, what it means? Don't try to open it, right? Means human do many things. Some people say, oh, why you don't want to open? I say, you want to open? If you have a scandal, you want to open it. Nobody want to open your own scandal, right? Even if we don't try to public scandal. So that's the reality. My work is a reality, include reality. So it doesn't matter, what I mean? We don't try everything we see, we don't give open because that's human. We don't need to know everything, but you still try to find something it's true. But that kind is not like a 100% perfect answer. No, you only just close to possible. That's kind of message. You know, the Russia-Ukraine war, each side, the losman is all different point of view in different people. It's like that way. In outdoor peace, you see, I say I just leave street, the outdoor 1 year, then that's not clear. I say no, another way. I'm with homeless, no different, right? Homeless can go in and can go out, right? But I say I'm not. That's why I'm doing out. You see, and Linda and with me tied low. We don't just tie together. You go tie together. You don't say clearly. That means you can make it up every day or something, right? But we make it that is clearly you are individual. You don't not fooling around. Yeah, clear, right? So let's make clear. Important thing you make clear. After that, then then up to you.
Yeah.
I
mean, I think you were mentioning people ask you about the relationship between your art and COVID and this and that, and you're resistant to those questions.
Right.
I think one of the reasons probably that one of the facets of your work that's so powerful is that over time, as the world's changing, your work takes on new meaning. As the pace of our lives get quicker and everything becomes tweets and sound bites and ringtones. I think the meaning of these one-year works really has a different impact. And over the last couple of years with all the lockdowns, we're all in a cage, or we've all experienced, not necessarily as extreme as what you went through, but I think the power of your work has taken on new meaning, which really speaks
because
to...
Michael, I believe my work. I don't design have to be quickly to make people know understanding why, right? But of course, I understand human not perfect. You have a lot of, they can find your problem, that's probably not many. But still, art still have something to make it, if I stay longer, I don't much to explain what I do that. And take longer to test, to see people respond in better way about silence in some way, to understand that because you say something and then that in some way, or you are the agent, or you are the Zan, or you are the Buddhas, and then all after you find out the time passed, then you say, you are the what that. Then too many the desire is become desire problem. It's not about you do something to make it work more clear. You just try to make it work is because art is the desire and make it work unclear. That's to me. Another way, in my work, nobody respond, and then I don't do anything. I think I don't have problem because I don't have a need have to be success in what, right? So what all people want to put me in a moral issue, that's up to them. But of course, I have my clear mind what human do think. I at least I'm 72 years old. I still my mind is still clear. I don't I don't have many new ideas. I don't. I told you, I can break in the rule. Say I don't do anymore, but I still do it. But because I don't find I can do something new, very powerful to break in and worth to do that, I don't find that. That's why I become quiet. I cannot, exposure much. I don't want to be patient too much.
Yeah.
That's why, so.
I want to ask a question. Well, I'm going to bear with me for a second because I'm going to tell a short story, which is when I was in college, I studied abroad for 2 years, and everybody asks about culture shock when you go to a different country. I never really felt culture shock going to another country, but I always felt culture shock coming back, because when you go away, you transform yourself, your mind, and you come back and everybody's the same as they always were. And for me, that was a very traumatic adjustment, that reverse culture shock. And I wonder for everybody asks about the performance art pieces, right? What was it like being in the cage? What was it like being outside? I'm really interested in what was that reverse culture shock like? What was it like after the 1 year coming back to quote unquote normal life? How was that adjustment? What kind of culture shock did you face? What was the readjustment like? Could you share a little about that?
I told him, Michael, to me, in beginning, coming this country, that words I use it. But later time, because art is one kind of make a new culture. To me, it's become like this is Western people do that, or that's different culture people do that. That's only in the daily life we share, exchange, or you meet somebody in the opening or party, and different kind of come from different background, and then we're talking about culture, exchange differently. But another way to art this level, to me, I become, become, doesn't matter I'm in the piece or after the piece, right? I become, later time, I become, it's a human limit. It's human does. I don't try, also culture, this word for art, like culture is more like I say, art is one kind of, what's called 激进前进的,
Like an advancement.
Yeah, so that means that you're always in the front, right? So in the front, of course, your work has to be really touch the foundation well, and then become that. And then you want to try to find why not. I feel it's for example, I do in the deep case for 1 year, or some people say you already changed, because they think I know it's not no good message to me. Doesn't mean my mind already, like I say, 有精神问题，你知道我的意思吗？
Yeah, you have a mental problem.
No problem. That's why but to me, I believe artist to do criticism, if he no control himself, still can do that. Means psychological, like I say, psychological. But of course, you cannot be what's called, or your mental is very healthy or something. You know what I mean? Maybe I already cannot go back. You know what I mean? But I understand in the big thing, you said lockdown, you said you don't outside lock, you said. You know what I mean? 只有你自己会, it just only you set to make you set down. So to me, I feel that is more like I don't say my way. I say mean, but it means I don't. You know what I mean? I don't use culture. That's only in beginning. I come this country. I use that, but the later time I become all human. Do limited things in several way, but of course we try to make something, special. Like I say, art is one kind of power to make a life. It's a, you have a good view, or something, you feel fresh, right? So to me, if fresh, I think we don't use the culture, become no in the culture issue, become more like a human, how liberty, to me, culture is more like after you already become like a library in a category. You want to put in that, you know what I mean? But maybe that's the way, I mean, some people want to category earlier, you said, but another way, you know what I mean, I
Yeah.
did that. You know, I still feel that part I don't clearly about. Of course, I don't know many culture. You know what I mean? I have.
I mean, actually, I mean, I'm less interested in the culture, you know.
Yeah.
It's more just about this readaptation to quote unquote normal life after putting your body through such an extreme experience.
对对。
就是如何重新适应
Okay.
那个日常生活那种。
Okay, Michael, I understand your way. Because my work, I use the real time, right? Real time, I do extreming. That you may not come back. But normal, we say you can come back. That means you don't lose mental problem. You don't have that. You lose mental, then you don't come back. 你就进去了深渊，你回不来了。
Yeah. If you go too deep, you're never going to come back out.
Right, that's we go out. But another way, if I can come back normally, then I know I still change it because you do you know, look at some people life in extremely something happen in a life, they cannot forget. You know, like that kind of luck, 一个烙印，一个印记在你的 you know, your mind, you know.
Yeah, it leaves a scar, leaves a mark on your body, in your mind.
But to me, I feel art is more like you have to be, you know, I mean, means of course, life is, you know, supposed to be, you know, when you get older, you have a more wisdom or more better thinking. But why many people become getting older, getting worse? Some is because of which called mental problem, right? 好像老人痴呆症嘛。
Like Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah, another way, or some kind of desire, or greedy, or something. Then make you change it in different. Another way, you should be better way to think it and clear, right? But that's not easy. Not easy until you die. Another way, you don't know this person what you know really like. So to me, I feel, you know what I mean. Well, I only do 6 pieces, you know, and not much work, but life still continue, right? I have extra time to finish, and I always say to people, you know, I just consume time until that, you know what I mean. I have some time left. 我现在的生命时间就还有一些时间 left， 我就是要去把它过完嘛。
Right now, I have some lifetime left on the clock, and now I just need to spend it to live it through.
Yeah, people asking me what I'm doing. I say I'm doing life. You know what I mean? I'm doing life. I'm doing art or doing life is all same doing time. So to me, it's just like my work is I use time with life to do the piece. So to me, I'm not like use object to do something. It's just like it become like a free thinking, or what that mean to me. You know, I mean, I don't have much to say. You know, new words about.
Yeah. What about the relationship between your work and space? And what I'm thinking about is most of your early works are all in New York City. And there's this strange tension because many of your works are about isolation, being alone, being cut off. And yet you're doing it in the middle of one of the most populous, vibrant, bustling cities in the world.
Yeah,
And what is, yeah, can you talk about New York and your work?
I think, Michael, to me, I feel if my shape background is Taiwan, right?
Yeah.
From Taiwan, then I think if I do work in New York, I would say, you know, I mean, in contemporary, I'm not saying, because in the 1974, I come here, right? I'm not talking about this time. If somebody 23 years old to come here, I don't try to talk about. I'm talking about my time. You know, in 1974, that time to come to New York and to do this work, where, you know, New York is that time already, you know, means it's an art center in the world in New York, not in Paris. We already know, people know that if you deal contemporary art. But in Taiwan, it's not mean cannot happen in Taiwan, but it's just like if I don't have this experience, I think it's much difficult. I don't say it had to be that side, had to be used New York, but it actually, if not that, then I feel it's much difficult. For example, like I say, if I tie rope, right? If I with one somebody, even I do in New York, if I with somebody is Taiwanese woman, right? People right will say, oh, this is about Taiwanese something, right? It's not about two human beings. You see, that's become concept become make a, go the wrong direction. You see, I would say the piece you can be tied with any kind of person. So it doesn't matter Taiwanese or I mean, or the white or the black, doesn't matter, or the man or you know what I mean, doesn't matter. But why I had to be special up because something the message still need to make it become universal. Yeah, universal. That word I had to use, right? Right. And you do the piece. If I live in street in New York, compare I live in the country, right, in small town. Because this is much interesting in human. The work, why my work had to be in the city, because city is the more serious thing. You know what I mean? Like I say, what happened in the big city, in contemporary art, because this is the center. Even we call it global, but still in different big city, right? But New York is one big city for me. But in my work, I told you, the space still is a supporting actor. Time is the main actor to me. My work need a space, but the space is just supporting actor. That's what I'm trying to say. But it's important, you know what I mean? I use New York City. I feel it's making me not like become like I said, people want to find you're Taiwanese or something. Well, sure, that's no question. You know, my background, you know, I come from, I born in there, you know, that kind. But after that, you know, I don't emphasize for what about, you know, like you say, or Chinese contemporary art, or Taiwanese contemporary art, or Asian contemporary art. I'm not like that kind of person. They will put me in that kind of category. You know what I mean? But I'm American art. Well, even American art, they don't even want to write about me too. I'm not talking about now, this time. I'm talking about the 80s, that time. You can now find art history in performance art in that time. The book will not write about me. But that is nature because my identity for people is confused, but it's that no means it's my fault. It's just like take time. People take time to find out what your work category or what. Another way I cannot to say you have to choose me. I don't do that. You know what I mean? That's why you know sometimes you have to be, you know, I mean, long duration to go, right? And I'm happy for my situation now. You know, I mean, become natural. I don't do politically. I'm natural political. You know, kind of. I have my own judge for what's in, but I don't do like you know, I mean, means try to find my own benefit for this kind of, you know, what should do what to me. You know what I mean? That's why I can say more, you know what I mean? Suppose I'm special from Asian, Taiwan, this kind of background, I have to be more, you know what I mean, not use this kind of, try to say, you know what I mean, Western not give me, you know, I'm free, I'm in New York, it's good. It's a good cage, best cage in the world. You know what I mean? That's why I stay here. I continue to stay here because I mean, I don't see anywhere it's perfect. No matter, but I don't looking for perfect. I already been here, 74 to until now is more than 40, 48 some years already.
Yeah.
Even my English is so badly. The reason why my English is so badly, some people when I live in street, friend, they say, oh, why you don't want to learn? You can use this time to learn English when you live in street. I say I don't want. I say I'm stubborn. I just look like homeless people to fooling around,
Yeah.
walking street. I don't. That's why my English is still not good, because I feel, my English, even now, Michael, we talk today, my kind of English for many audience, I'm sure, if they want to pay attention to listen, they can try to understand some part. But I know they know I speak bad English. They know that. Yeah.
I have a lot more questions, but I'm going to start bringing in a couple audience questions as well.
Sure.
And so I'm going to bring one in from Michelle Wong, who thanks you for all of your wonderful comments, says what an honor it is to hear you speak about your work. And she wants to know why you choose 1 year increments. Why 1 year for your major pieces?
Well, I think the 1 year, because that is a life unit, basically unit. You see, I don't use the half year or the 2 year. The reason, because that is a connection with the universe. That's why I like the human stay in the intersection, right? You can see down about what human are, and you can see up. We are just so small, right? We are just Earth around the sun. 1 year is one circle is 1 year, right? So that way you can say you are staying in that position. You can say big and small, and what's human existence in the time in this in this period of time. What we do in time. What we doing. Yeah. So that's the way I use 1 year. It's good for talking about life.
Yeah.
But life, how to be a piece of art. So I use that, it's become form, but not many idea. I cannot do many piece, repetition. I cannot repetition. I only do what, but I see catch piece, tango piece, outdoor piece, low piece, and no on, and then so you can see most in different angle. I already try to do what light in different angle to thinking, to passing time, and I enjoy it for what I do that, and of course, another way, some artists are very creative, can do more, but I only, I do less. That's all I can do. Yeah.
You did 1 year work from 1985 to 1986. No creating art, not talking about art, not viewing art. And this work kind of raises an interesting question about the definition of art, right? Because there's this paradox, because so much of your work for me is about breaking down the boundary between art and everyday life. And when you take that, I mean, for some people, cooking a beautiful dish, omelet, could be a work of art, right? You're driving on the highway, there you see advertisements on the road. There's a certain artistry that went into the design of those. How do you remove all that from your life? And what questions did that bring up for you in terms of trying to define what is art? Isn't it maybe an impossible
For you, I already said before, it's like one container.
Yeah.
Time, the one empty container, right? And you can fit anything you can do. But to me, you see, I already did a, few, catch piece, tango piece, outdoor piece, and low piece, right? Until that, I already know. You see, I make it. I have my own rule. Like say, between each piece, the gap, I don't want that more than 1 year. You see, tango and catch piece is 193 days something, and then tanker piece with auto piece is for less half year. And then so, but until low piece to be next piece, I already almost 365 days, almost close to, and I don't have idea. Before my work, I always come, when I do the piece time, already have new piece to develop, you know what I mean? But in that time, I become no. So to me, art is, I don't only do what I put in a cage in my this art time container, or put the time piece in container, or put the other, then I become put, no art is this container. Because that's become, I become do to me. I don't do to outside, I become meet myself. Become like I say, the stage only to face to myself. And I don't want it to be like I say, let me see. Me said just that means I want to be do 1 year life, but this I only have to do no art, then make this life. You see, because our life is no different than some other work. You know what I mean? I become peace life 1 year. That's the main thing. That's why I become no art maker half life 1 year. But to me, it's it. I don't have many bullets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I do first cage piece, I already know I cannot do several strong piece for next. But I still find the tanker piece. But after tanker, I worry about, I don't have, you know, idea. Then I find out of piece. And then semi and raw piece. Then after that, I already really total no bullet. So I become direction become that way, because the way I understand that you have time limited, daylight. You cannot stop time. So no idea, and then that's it. And then go direction become opposite, become total. I lose my desire to do art. You see, to offer, I have a new way to go. That's the new way. You see, because nobody, people in our world, they will say, "Oh, you are gone. That's it. You're out." Yes, I'm out, but that's the price I have to pay, because that's my character. That's the way I do. I don't try to do something new and then bad. Then that this is my level. I only can do that, right? No art better than I do new piece and work and bad. You see, so I just choose second choice. That's the way and then I become out the art world, and then certain year become that way to save my life. For I still have time to go.
Yeah.
That's the way.
I mean, it seems like you pushed yourself further and further each time, and until the long piece, 86 to 99, right, where you would make art but not present it. I mean, part of this is stripping away all the commercial, capitalistic.
Michael, I tell you, artist, you only worry about if you don't commit suicide, right? And you lose everything, and you feel fine. That's all be okay, right? But you want to do something to make it more worse, and then that's not good to me. I'd rather to be this way, and then I set my beautiful what work I done. That's the way I do, because to me, I just means my freedom. You see what I do, I don't get it, much, create something, but at least I have my desire is freedom. I have nothing to lose, but at least I keep freedom.
So once you strip away your audience, your critics, your viewers,
Yeah.
what's left? Is it freedom, your answer for that last period? That's the
Because
greatest.
people can say 你的江南才尽怎么讲？江南才尽怎么讲？
你的江南才气，
江南才尽，你的才气已经没有了，已经
you used up, extinguished all your talent.
yeah. But if I don't bother, I don't go to commit my suicide. Yeah, I just live. I don't bother people. I live what I had to go. Yeah. So that's become after the end. It become no rule. You don't try to go to jail or to destroy something. You just keep quiet. Then people what to say? No problem, right? You know what I mean? So I ask only that little thing,
With this really uncompromising drive for freedom that you've been pursuing in your art, I would imagine your 1983 piece with Linda Montano, where you're collaborating, you're stuck together. Can you talk about the challenges of being forced to collaborate with another artist for that full year?
Well, Michael, I told you, if you find each piece I do, I must have somebody support collaboration. The first piece, case piece, I have Chen.
Yeah.
My good friend to give me that. But it's just like he's not in the stage, right? He's not only just in the statement, he do that, right? And that's very important. But he is in the underground, right? And Tamko piece, and of course, I don't have to point who had me, but it is human existence. You always have a. So this piece is about you have to be. I cannot do my work without. You know what I mean? That piece doesn't matter to show I'm weak point or strong point, but at least to show human existence. For everybody, what I mean, you have to face. What I mean, it's just like I bring to in public, and of course that affect it's reality. It's affect like somebody. Linda is one individual artist. She have her own opinion. It's another human being. It's not like before 3 piece I did. It's just myself. Even difficulty, I still one person to face the object, But this is quest another human being. That's look like do you know like what it called? Johnny Depp, right? Johnny Depp with like and what's called what's her name? Emily. Just only go to court. John Denver. John Denver,
the country singer.
Yeah. No. The movie star.
Oh, Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp with the like that. It's just that's order in beginning in 1984. I do this piece. Somebody write about Charlie and Diana. I mean in the princess, that kind, similar have this kind of Rosamund, right?
Right.
So this existence in human life, even what true is about true, just so same thing. I just one piece about art, for that. Yeah. So it's not like it's not like well, my character, I told you, my character is not so good for collaboration. I good for solo, but I had to do it because I cannot, escape for, that's the power piece, for to show my problem, existence. Yeah. That's why I still see. That means give you a little privacy. Still look like you know, how many years? Almost, 40 years ago.
Mm.
And this piece, I would say, still reality with me and Linda.
Yeah.
Because depend outside how respond. So as a human, it just, it's not just me. Because each angle different point of view. I cannot. I only can say myself. I cannot. That make our piece is interesting.
Thank you. We have another question from Elizabeth Brielle, who asks, do you find that after these long 1-year pieces and then the 13-year project, do you feel a pressure to continue to mark time in a specific way, or does life feel different after that?
You see, my English is not so good to get. You say about.
So after all of these 1-year art pieces and the 13-year project,
Yeah.
do you feel a pressure to continue to mark time in a specific way, or do you feel different? 就是经过这个一年一年这些行为艺术过去之后，你是否还有一种压力，就是要继续用1年这样的一个时间点来记时间？
I already answered before already that. Say if I really have a very strong idea, even I say I don't do art anymore, then breaking that be possible. But if I don't have, then better don't try to make a test. You know what I mean? I don't have idea. You know what I mean? Because if I have idea and cannot make it, then that means no. You have to be, like I said before, I said 1 week test, right? So even you cannot test, then why you still want to say you do that? I don't want to bring too many things happen in the world. Only makes sense important for the human discussion. Another way, you don't try to find just want attention for outside to pay attention to you. I don't think we don't have to do that.
Do you see any productive relationships between your work and activism? I'm thinking of, look at your work outside and think of the homelessness crisis in America right now. And there's a lot of ways in which I feel your work speaks very powerfully to these kind of issues, but I'm wondering what your take is on that.
Michael, this I already said something before. It's like people, if we just want to talking about the, social issue or about the, human existence or homeless issue or environment issue, yeah, I'm sure we can talk about. But you want to bring to be this is up, right? Up kind of, thing to the. I don't feel, I don't feel this issue. I'm interested for do this kind of, to talk about homeless issue, because my work is not, it's not because outdoor piece is something with that or another piece, it's human existence, but I like the character, homeless is one kind of, it's not like homeless become negative words. I don't feel that. I feel they have a lot of freedom, but their price to pay is a short life. You know what I mean? Because they are free, they are out society rule. You know what I mean? But this only happened in America. I'm not talking about some other country, because some other country, like I say, 中国有乞丐嘛, right?
But there's beggars in China.
But in America, homeless is, it's still have a lot of people, in many different levels. It's not like, some people live lifestyle, even they have a home, but they still look like homeless kind of style, So to me, I feel homeless is one kind of, freedom, but of course, really live in street. I know it's total look like a prisoner in prison. They're another society. They really like, like I say, winter time, very cold. Police will have to be put them in a shelter. That's the rule. Another way, if you die in this capitalism country, you die or you have something very big sick problem in homeless, they have ambulance car will come pick you up. Another way, you have to find your own self food. That's why I say homeless people punch car because they have to find food to eat. If you don't eat 3 days, 4 days, you become, close to you don't have energy to move your body. Nobody will help you. Only hospital or see one person in street, they put you in a hospital. But after that, make you fine, then put you in the street again. Because we don't count homeless is our society member. They are outside our society, but we have a human right. We put them in the ambulance car. It's only they get, very bad situation. They put it, but after that, they send you back to street until you die, and then that's it. They put you, to find some kind to burn your body. That's the way. It's that way. You know what I mean? But to me, I don't want an issue talk about the art, then bring this issue. To me, this is a total separate issue because you want to, like a social work. You can do good social work, but you want to do social work become piece art, that's another story. You know what I mean? Because you have to make art good, and then you count your subjects about homeless or about environment. Another way, I don't feel, another way, you want to mix art and then also it's a social, kind of, issue about homeless. I feel, you have to do one thing better. You know what I mean? And of course, we are talking about art. Then I feel that is, like art is, it can be education, but education is not about art. Education is, it's a cultural issue, about art, homeless environment issue. You know what I mean? Also, we respect that, but it's just like you have to be total focus. And we cannot do good for done that job, And so to me, I feel it's can be very creative person. It's a homeless, no problem.
Maybe I'll ask one final question, and that is, your work has been very controversial. There are people who call you crazy, a madman. Some call you a genius. Some call you a visionary. There's been a lot of critics who have written about your work. What do you think is the biggest misunderstanding about you as an artist?
I told you, at the end, you only believe what you believe, what I mean? Sincere yourself. But you want to expect somebody to respond your work in a good, not only bad, what I mean? That will be, you will disappoint, many disappoint. Because you don't even get 1%, somebody criticize you, you feel bad already. But you cannot get it, you cannot accept 100 people, what I mean? Even Picasso, in history, important art, they only several kind of people accept this contemporary art, in good way. So to me, I feel it's just like open mind, what I mean? You accept all kind is good, but you of course have to be careful. You don't want to be screwed up with something, to argue with some people, what I mean? So you do, like I said, my work, I think have a good response, but I'm sure about, people, like I said, YouTube. I told you this time you took, they have many, that kind is not outward people. They're more like outside. But it's like 毁义参半怎么讲？毁义参半，毁义参半，你不对。
听不清楚。
means 毁掉就 destroy your name.
Yeah.
But 义 is means good name. But destroy your name. It's like a both way.
Yeah.
It's like that, you know what I mean? But I get it big in this time, you know, more than 55 450,000. That kind of people.
Yeah.
Crazy. But that have a bad side and good side, you know.
Yeah.
But that kind you only just say 现象. You know, people, you know, they have a different
just a
point of view, right? But you cannot to make it, you know, because you don't expect, don't try to be desire, you want to be more people, you know what I mean? I don't think that will be, you know what I mean? You only just like, you know, you feel your self-understanding and comfortable, confident for what life, you know what I mean? And how to be, and do your best. Another way, have different opinion, you know,
yeah.
Even different opinion already can be argued, you know. So, but at least we that open. That's where I think I already passed difficult time in my past view. And now I'm just, you know, I mean, I would say I'm happy for my situation. Yeah. So.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Sheila,
thank you, Michael. Yeah, thank you.
sharing your work, your reflections. I think we all learned so much from you.
Yeah.
And like I said at the beginning, we met 22 years ago in your car, and it's such a pleasure to continue the conversation all these years later. So thank you so much.
Also, thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.
Take care.
All right. Bye.